Kia ora te iwi, nau mai, hara mai, and welcome to another Friday of AR Plus Bay Chat for another week. I'm Marcus Howie.
I'm Matua Jax.
And we have a special guest and a new staff member at Bay Rugby in Owen Haia as one of our casual rugby activators. Owen.
Kia ora te whānau.
Well, it's been a busy week for all of us, and it's going to be another busy week next week. Jax, what have you been up to? You've been missing for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I have been missing. It's good to be back on the show there, whānau. I've been out in terms of work, been out and about in terms of referee stuff. You know, as we know, there is a big shortage across the bay, and we're trying to recruit as much or as many people as we can, mothers, uncles, grandparents, and to get them on board, we have to go out and run courses. So if that's you at home and you've got plenty of time, or you want to go and support your tamariki or your mokpuna, feel free to give me a call here at Bay Plenty Rugby, and I'll tell you when the next course is coming up.
Nice. Yeah, you've been a man of the night, eh? A few hours after 5 o'clock.
The unfortunate thing is that everybody works, and that's when I have to run my programs. Enough about me. What have you been up to? That's what everybody wants to know.
Before we find out what I've been up to, we've got Matua Owen sitting here. He joined the ranks earlier in the week. Where have you been? Where have you been about this week?
Well, it's been a real privilege to travel around our Bay of Plenty Provincial Union. Started the other night at Whakatane, working with our tamariki at the Eastern BOP region. Spending some time helping coaching our tamariki there. Had a fabulous time with them and their whānau. So that was a wonderful evening. Great way to start and be welcomed into the Bay of Plenty Rugby Union whānau. And then spent 4 days the day after at Rotorua and spending time with a few schools there. Schools such as Otonga, Selwyn, Linmore and Sunset. So some really talented tamariki from those regions. Looking forward to seeing them in the future as to what they're going to do. So for our tamariki, keep up, kia kaha, and yeah, keep training, because we'd love to see you bring all that excitement and enthusiasm and skill to the Tackle Fives tournament coming up within the next few weeks.
Some good pictures there.
You just asked, and that's awesome, man, and welcome aboard. And it's awesome to have you part of our team.
Thank you.
That passion and that energy thoroughly required to get out there and work with our tamariki across the motu. What have I been up to? Well, first and foremost, I've been recruiting, getting some new staff energized and getting them trained up and getting them out there. I've been out in the waka, visiting different clubs, visiting different schools, and getting that energy and just keeping it alive. And we're prepping for our first Tackle Fives tournament next week, Jax. We're heading to Central Bay for the first of the Year 5 and 6 tackle tournaments at Neil Hunt Park next Wednesday. So a lot of mahi going on behind the scenes, as well as keeping the other schools around the Western and the Eastern informed of what's coming up in the next couple of weeks as well.
Marcus, I'm not sure if we've got a little time there to explain whereabouts you've been in terms of the journey around the motu and the beautiful places that you've been able to visit over the time, over the last 3 or 4 weeks traveling around. You want to give everyone a little bit of an insight?
Yeah, bro. So we've been right up the East Coast. And when I say right up the East Coast, we couldn't get any more right up the East Coast. So a trip up to Whangaparoa to visit the kura up there. As we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, that was a real amazing trip up there. Came back feeling really, really good. Aupōtiki, Whakatane, Murupara, Reparoa, Whakarewarewa Club, Nongotaha, been up to Whakamarama, went into Matahui School, delivering to the kids there. So we've been everywhere, bro. We've been right across the motu delivering, and as I said, we can't get any further east, and we probably can't get any further north, and we probably can't get any further south than Reparoa. So we have been everywhere.
Yeah, and there's feedback coming back to our staff and within the organisation that they see our vehicles in places that they've never been seen before. So just on behalf of us here in your team that went out and did some activations within those kura. It's good work, and it's good to see that we're hitting, especially, the coast is close to my heart. And when I seen the pictures up there, I was looking at them and I was thinking straight away of going back home, going to Urawaiti Beach where you took the photo on the corner there. So beautiful work, and you and your team, Marcus, and keep up the good work.
Thanks, Brian. I'm sure that Monga was calling you too. That little message you flicked through as well.
Yeah.
Which was and I said it was quite emotional to be there. And then that waiata that the kids did in the middle of the field too was pretty special to be there at the time. So getting out there, but I can't do it alone. Our activators getting out there doing it. The likes of Owen, we've got new staff and a Canadian called Janet. We've got Jared, we've got LJ, we've got Gracie, we've got Jess. They're all out there delivering and doing good mahi out there as well. So I can't take all the credit. It has to go to these guys that are out there doing it as well. And it's just so good to see it happening right out there. So, awesome work. Let's just a little bit about you. We had a yarn in the Ute the other day. You were telling me all about your clubs and where you've been about. Can you just talk to us a little about your history and who you played for and your mahi?
Kia ora, can do. Well, for myself, he uri ahau no ngā iwi o Tapuika me Waitaha, i tuku aku au i Reira. So I grew up there in Te Puke. In my junior years, I played rugby for Rangiuru, and for league, played for Te Pāmu, and moved over to Tauranga Moana and studied a Bachelor of Teaching degree there. I am a kaiako. I've taught at a few schools, Green Park School, Maryvale School, Manunui, who used to be also known as Brookfield, also Tauranga Intermediate, done some relieving at Oropi, and at Te Mata, Te Kura Iwi or Tapuika. So I come from a background of a teaching background as an educator, and over the many years I've been privileged to work alongside Baywide Rugby Union, go to the tournaments and coaching kids and taking teams to the tournament. One thing that I like to acknowledge is the fact that they put on an awesome program for our tamariki to develop their skills and have fun with it too. So the important message is to have fun and growing in this awesome game that we love called rugby. I played rugby for Rangatawa in the seniors and also for Tauranga Sports, the Raptors. Won a few Baywide championships. And I know a little bit about rugby and it's a great game. But I'm also a passionate league man, and got to acknowledge the coaches, the wonderful coaches that I've had there that have helped me to develop who I am. And now it's my turn to give back to our community, especially in our kura and for our tamariki. Just also mentioning our very first inaugural Tackle Fives tournament, the team that I coached, Maryvale School, won that tournament. So feeling it. So kia kaha, Maryvale School, if you're preparing for those tournaments, and all our tamariki across our region. So if you see me around, feel free to come up and have a chat, give us a high five, and we'll help in any way we can for you to enjoy this beautiful game. So that's what we're here for. And I've enjoyed coming into the few schools that I've been to yet, going to Ruatoki on Monday and going over to do a tackle session clinic there. And I'm looking forward to that. So whānau will be coming out and having a great time with you guys. Just let your teachers know to put on some hot chocolate and a cake when we arrive. And really enjoy being part of the Baywide Rugby Union whānau. So thank you everyone for having me on board.
Nice, and you can hear that. I feel that energy from the man already.
Yes,
so.
I noticed it when the first time I met Owen, and got a lot of energy. All about the tamariki, making sure they have the experience. So kia ora, bro. Well,
awesome, and as Owen said, he'll be back out on the grass next Monday, and you'll see him at Neil Hunt Park next Wednesday in Rotorua for the first of the tournaments for the Central Bay. Also been going on the Mount Maunganui Foursquare Secondary Schools competition, Fridays and Saturdays and Mondays. Busy time for the secondary schools. Mondays with all the girls getting out there playing, the senior girls and the junior girls, 10 aside. So that's been good. Friday night code. Have you caught up on any Friday night code?
I actually got out and watched 2 last week.
Yeah.
Young Arthur, Ricardo, Papa Moore. So, and it was his first under 16 game. So I managed to get out there. And then on Saturday morning, went and watched young Brook out at Te Puhi High School.
Nice.
And they were playing Tauranga boys. So,
Yeah.
we just.
She does the card too, eh?
Yes, she does. She did dish a yellow. She's a really good ref.
Yeah.
Both of those two referees that we want to, try and expose a little bit more because we think they have the essence of being really, really good refs.
Yeah. And we've seen Brooke in action in the men's sevens at Katikati as well.
Yeah.
She did really well in that tournament as well, didn't she?
Yeah. In terms of the secondary school competition, we have to acknowledge the work that James has put in behind the scenes there, and also the committee, the secondary school committee. It's a big competition, and there's a lot of games to cover, on those days, on the Mondays and Fridays and Saturdays. So, people out there, there's a lot of work going on and behind, and we acknowledge all the volunteers that are helping, coaches, managers, to make it work, just so that our kids can get out there and express themselves through the game of rugby.
Definitely. So Mount Maunganui Foursquare Secondary Schools, get out, support your local secondary school, whether it be tonight, whether it be Saturday, or whether it be on Monday after school. How's it looking in the referee space for that, mate? As you said, there's a lot of games going on. Where are we finding our referees to do that?
Well, we try and, as you know, I've been around around the sub-unions running associate referee courses because we have a shortage of referees in that space. And the schools have come on board, which is good. Hopamore College, Tauranga boys, Rotorua managed to go over there and do a program over there, Rotorua girls, just to try and alleviate the pressure of not having a ref. And so some of the academies over there have stood up, and we've been able to put them through a course that will equip them, give them the basics in terms of refereeing. And then hopefully from that, three things that I believe will come out of that is that, one, they know the law of the game, which helps them when they play. Two, they learn skills in terms of communication and responsibilities around refereeing. And three, we alleviate the void of their school not having a referee. So, as I said in the beginning there, we are short, and we're trying our best to cover as many as we can. So, that's the space that we're in terms of the referee space.
Oh, ka pai, good mahi, and secondary schools giving back to secondary school rugby as well. So good to see teenagers ripping at that level. So, and a big thanks to Mount Maunganui Foursquare for being the backer of Baywide Premiers Secondary Schools Rugby. Let's move right along to the program. Let's have a look at some of the club rugby that was played last weekend, starting with the Baywide there. Te Puke, big win over the side that was running red hot, whatever, 48 points to 24 there at Murray Salt.
It's pretty much a reverse of the round one.
It was.
In terms of the score.
Yeah.
It should be up there. That game, and it was good it was close in the first half, but in the second half they got away.
And still 48-24, still a lot of scoring by both teams. I'm looking at this one, I'm thinking there's a Battle of the City, a small upset maybe. Tauranga getting up over their near rivals Greta Maris, 31 points to 26. And Mount, this one surprises me, Jax. We've got our mate Ollie sitting around the corner. He's probably chuckling away. I don't think anyone would have picked this result unless you were a Mountie. 32-14 over Te Puna.
No, I didn't pick that score. But in all honesty, Mount been chipping away. They're there or thereabouts, and they're working away. Rubes and his team will just slowly. When it comes around finals time, they will be hoping to be in those final four at the end.
Yeah, and our mate Ollie around the corner, the strength and conditioning coach around there, he dotted down for a meat pie as well, celebrating his first try for the season.
Really?
Let's take a quick look at the points table here. It's changed slightly. The Pirates are now out in front on 31. Whakarewa were second on 29. And Jax, there's a big change right down in that middle there, a big drop. Gretton Marist on 19, Te Puna on 18, the Raptors on 17. Mount have made a big climb up that table in a couple of weeks to 16, and your whānau at Pāpaka, they still yet to get a point on the board. What do you reckon's going on there, Owen?
Well, our Pāpaka whānau are rebuilding at this time. They've got a lot of youthful talent in there coming through our age grades, and also a lot of them have represented the Bay too. So I know quite a few of those young men in that club. So they're building away, and like Matua Jax was talking about earlier, they're chipping away and developing and rebuilding there. So go the Pāpaka.
Yeah, well, you get rangatahi on any given day, and you go up Te Ariki Park, and when they're on, and they'll tip a top team over up there on the park with all the added rules in terms of the power lines and stuff like that. But you wouldn't like the middle piece there. If you had a look at the middle of that draw, it's really, really close. So it's going to be interesting in the second round, and people will be fighting to get as close as they can to 4 and. Well, it doesn't matter where you're going to be. 4 and 3 are going to be some tough positions.
Definitely. Hey, let's take a look at our overall top try scorers and point scorers. Declan Barnett, I feel like he hasn't scored tries in a couple of weeks. He's still sitting there on 12. Jesse Mason-Grant from Whakarewarewa and Regan Arson there on 9. Again, I don't think Regan Arson's dotted down for a couple of weeks now. Fletcher Carpenter, now that's an interesting name there. Only about 4 games in. He's up to 7 tries already in the Pirate strip. Vera Ali from Whakarewarewa, he's continuing his form on 7. Gulilino Gulibale from Te Puke, he's risen up there on 7. A new name into this, and this will keep our mate Ollie around the corner happy. Mitch Dance from the Marlins, he's got 5. Tauranga Sports have finally added a name to the list. Penny Lafanga, he's on 5. Raymond Collier, Greta Maris, he's on 5. And the man that went to Katakata College, Tane Craig Ranger, on 5. I say that because Te Puke is celebrating secondary school week in their camp. And I see he's from out of Katakata College, so Tane Craig Ranger on 5 tries there. Top point scorers, and again, like I just mentioned, Fletcher Carpenter. The man's only played 4 games. He's clocked up 94 points and probably looking at 100 by the end of next week.
Have you been watching?
I watched him play last year.
Man, it's pretty much an extension of that. The guy is crazy. Some of the things he does, and he's always in the right place, right time.
And then we move down the table here. Junior Matatea, who was the early front runner leading that table, he's on 63, still kicking goals, just not as rapid as Fletcher Carpenter. Must mention this guy here, Ruben Whitehall, Whakarewarewa. He's bringing up his 150th cap for the Red and Blacks this weekend. Number 10. So congratulations, Ruben. That's a huge milestone to play 150 games for your club. He's sitting there 60 with Declan Barnett. Ollie Curtis, another Mountie. He's put himself up there on the ladder on 45. Jesse Mason-Grant on 45. Regan Arson on 45. Tane Craig Ranger rounds out that list there on 43 points. And this week's AR Plus Player of the Week for the 3rd time running goes to Te Puke's Fletcher Carpenter. Congratulations, Fletcher.
Congratulations, Fletcher.
A lot of points off that kicking boot last week, and also he got it down for a Met pie as well. So already 3 times this year he's appeared on the top honours list for Player of the Week. AR Plus Player of the Week Fletcher Carpenter, brought to you by AR Plus. All right, let's take a look at what else has been going on around the traps. Jax, do you want to give us a rundown on the Baywide development?
Baywide development means Tauranga development 22 over Greta Maris. 20 there that's a real close game there. Followed on by Te Puke development, who went down to Whakarewarewa 45-12. Mount Maunganui development versus Te Puna. 2 good for Te Puna on the day, and Rangatawa had the bye.
Good for the Marlins. They got a double. That day, and so did the Raptors. Owen's quietly smiling away with his blue and gold jersey on.
So this is the standings at the moment. So we've got 2 Waka and Te Puna on 30 up the top there, followed by Mount Maunganui 21. Tauranga Sports, the Raptors are on 15. Below them is Te Puke on 12, Greta Maris 11, and our whānau from Te Arakia on 7 down there.
Nice. They've got some points on the board. Don't forget, throw some comments up there, and if you know this guy, give us some inside details. Yeah, so throw some up. Oh, we'll get you to rattle off the Baywide Colts results.
So the Baywide Colts results for last week. Te Teko Colts got over Maris St. Michael's 39-29. The Papamoa Colts just managed to edge out Greater Maris Colts 27-26. The Raptors, Tauranga Sports, got over Topol Sports, and I'm sure Topol Sports will come back firing this week. And Te Puke Colts, yeah, with a big win over Mount Maunganui Colts. So good luck to all the teams this week.
Over to the Central Bay there, Rotoiti getting a big win over Murupara 45-12. Maris St. Michael's battled it out there with Eastern Pirates 22-17 at Neil Hunt. This would have been a good one too. Yes. Kahukura getting a win away at Waikite by 15-12. And another tight one here. Nongi down at Reporoa, just getting up 25-22. Over at Eastern Bay in the senior men's.
We've got a Portuguese there going down to Matata, 31-29. Ruatoki Senior Development, too good for Poroporo, 34-0. Waimana Senior, again too good for Te Teko Senior B, 52-22. Edgecombe Senior A, this is a very close one, 20. But Pardal got over them 22-20.
Feki must have been better with the kicking tee that day. Owen, do you want to rattle off our EBOP Premier men?
So for our EBOP Premier men, Tani Atua, 24-17 over our whānau at Te Teko in Texas. Opotiki over Maris 50-5. Ruatoki 38-17 Poroporo. And Te Teko Premiers have the bye.
And into the Western Bay there in a tight run here. Rangiuru getting up over their farming neighbours, Eastern Districts 32-10. Judea Matakana still looking for their first win, edged out by Papamoa 47-38. And a battle for the top of the table there, which I think was the end of the round. Katikati Stags winning that one 38-27 over the Mako of Arataki, giving the Katikati Stags the win for the first round. So well done to the Stags on claiming the first round honours with that win over Arataki at the Stag Yard up in Katikati. And over to the women here, the Baywide Championship women. Owen, we'll get you to rattle off these results for us.
Whakarewarewa had a big win over Greater Maris. Arataki, unfortunately, didn't get any points on the board. Tupuna with 51. Kahu Pirates 25, Waimana 5, and Te Puke Pirates 5, with Opotiki with a flying score 53.
And into the Baywide Prems, Jacks.
Mount Maunganui, too good there for Rangatawa women. From what I've heard, there was a really good game across the road here. They got up 33-20. Tongariro woman versus Nongataha. Now this would have been a good game, although the score doesn't say it. But we're all looking at Nongataha and how they're building from last year. 55-5 there over Tongariro. And Poroporo played Ruatoki. Whānau on Whānau, 30-27. Was there a behind there? No, that's it.
And let's take a quick look at the standings there. Normal Taha still on top. They're on 20, equal with the Marlins on 20. And then down the ladder a little bit of a gap there. Rangatawa, the Papaka on 11. Ruatoki on 9. Poroporo on 5. And Tongariro on 3. So a bit of a battle there for those minor placings at this stage.
What week are we in now? We're in
week 5, bro.
Week 5.
Yeah.
Man, it's going to be a tight end at the top end.
It will be. And take a look at the top try scorers currently. Jade Wharimata, she's on 6 from Nongataha. Liv Richardson from Rangatawa on 6. Sapphire Williams from Rangatawa on 6. And Asher James from the Mount. She's rounding out that try scoring list on 4. And the top point scorers there, Hope Parata King of Nongataha, 36. Sapphire Williams from Rangatawa, 32. Jade Wharimata on 30 from Nongataha, Liv Richardson on 30 from Nongataha, and rounding out that list of top point scorers this week, Jess Waldron from the Mount on 23.
Oh, Jess.
And this week's AR Plus Wahine of the week goes to Mahina Paul from Poroporo. She scored a hat-trick of tries in her club's win over Ruatoki. So congratulations, Mahina. You're this week's AR Plus Wahine of the week. All right. This is the time when we take a look at this weekend's games. They're only just around the corner, one sleep away. So let's bring up this weekend's AR Plus Baywide games of the week, and we put you to the test on these ones here, Owen. First game up, Greta Maris. They're back at the castle, hosting Te Puna. This will be a good game here. I'm going to put it to you, lads. Owen, thoughts on this one? Who's going to win it?
Being at the home of the Gurnards, G-Town may just get up on this one. They're very hard to beat when they're at home. They've got a great fan base and support there. So, yeah, they'll be very, very tough. But don't be surprised that Te Puna may just edge them out if they do.
Jax?
I will go Greta Maris myself as well.
Okay.
I just think in terms of form, it's of late. Greta.
I think this will be a tight one. Te Puna will be hurting after their loss last week. Depending on injuries, I see they have a lot of injuries. There's a lot of changing to their backline the last couple of weeks. So I think that'll be a tight one. But again, with the Buddha Junior Matatia, I think he'll steer Greta Maris home in this one. Mount Maunganui, they're in high spirits after their win last week. They now face top of the table Te Puke Pirates at Gordon Tipchins. So this will be a good one. Jack's thoughts?
Based on form, I'm hooked on a feeling that Te Puke will take that one.
On a feeling. Well done. Great. He's been thinking about that one all morning. And then you, Owen?
I think it'll come down to the 5%ers. It may even come down to the boots. The way Fletcher Carpenter's kicking at the moment, he may just get Te Puke on top of the Marlins this weekend.
Yeah, and you can't go past Te Puke with the form that they're in. Prove me wrong, Mounties, but I'm going away at Te Puke, and I'll probably go Te Puke by 20 in this one. And Whakarewarewa, they're back home in the steam at Puringa Park, back over in Rotorua. They're taking on the whānau of Pāpaka, Rangatawa. Boys, Owen?
Yeah, Whakarewarewa, they're in form as well, so they're going to be pretty tough to beat. But I know the mana of Rangatawa and the Pāpaka, they'll certainly bring it, and they won't make it an easy day for Whakarewarewa, that's for sure.
Jax?
Yeah, I'll go Wakas, with their form. This is a tradition. This is more than just a club game. It's a traditional game. We've got whānau on whānau. In terms of form, Waka, I definitely think that they'll take it over my whanangas from up there.
Yeah, the Pāpaka will definitely be bringing the salt to add to the wound of how Whakarewarewa will be feeling after their loss to the Pirates last week. But I think they'll soon wash it out with some nice steam. And with that steam pudding, that'll be set up for dessert. I think it'll be just desserts for the Pāpaka. They'll enjoy the desserts, but they won't enjoy the battle on the park, and it'll go the way of the Red and Blacks. And to celebrate Rupu and Waipō's 150th, I'm going Whakarewarewa for me, 20 plus. And the Raptors have the bye. Let's take a look at the Baywide Development men's there. Greta Maris, they're at home to Te Puna, Mount home to Te Puke, and Whakarewarewa again hosting Rangatawa, with the Raptors having the bye in that one. Over to the Colts here, Jax.
Colts draw is Taupo Sports versus Te Teko. We've got Mount Maunganui versus Tauranga Sports, and Greta Maris take on Te Puke. That'll be actually a good game. And lastly, down the bottom, Maris St. Michael's. They're playing Papamoa Colts. They've been a good run as well.
They are. Yeah. Oh, and what's happening over in the Central?
So Central Bay, Murupara Seniors are playing Waikite, and that's at Ngāti Manawa Park. The Eastern Pirates are playing Rotoiti at Neil Hunt. Maris are playing Nongotaha at Maris Park in Rotorua. Kahukura play Reparoa, and that's at Quiro Park.
Yeah, some good battles there. The one I'm looking at here, I think for me, game of the week is Maris and Mike's taking on Nongotaha at the Vatican. I think this will go down to the wire again. I refereed Maris playing Rotoiti a couple of weeks ago, and it took a veteran Richard Kingy conversion right from the chalk and a banana bend back through the uprights to see Roto to in by that 1 point. So I think this one will be similar battle as well, going down to the wire.
I've learned something new. I didn't know Richie kicked. I was just with him the other day. Good on you, cousin.
That was a good one too. It missed everything else. Western Bay, Eastern District, so home at Paingaroa, up against Papamoa. Rangiuru, they're hosting the Katikati Stags at Centennial, and Judea will be trying to get their first win on their home ground at Maharoa Park, up against Arataki. So good luck, men, in the Western Bay Conference. Oh, and what's happening over in the Eastern Senior Men's?
The Eastern Senior Men's, Puru are taking on Te Teko, our whānau from Texas at Puru Rugby Club. Pāroa are taking on Ruatoki at Lawson Park. Waimana, big game against Opotiki at Waimana Sports. And Edgecombe playing Matatai at Edgecombe Domain.
There you go, Jax. You got the EBOP.
The Eastern Premier Men, we've got Taniatua versus Opotiki there at Robshaw Park. Pāroa versus Ruatoki, and they're playing at Lawson Park and Pāroa. Poro Premier take on Te Teko, and that's in Poro. And we've got Maris there whakatane with the bye.
In the Baywide Championship women here, Greta Maris, they're at home hosting Arataki. These games are all on Sunday at 1 o'clock. Waimana hosting Te Puke. Opotiki home to the Red Hot Whakarewa, and Te Puna home at Maramatanga Park against Kahu Pirates. And over to the AR Plus Baywide Premier Women's Games. We'll put our hats on for these ones, gentlemen. Rangatawa, they're hosting Ruatoki. This will be a good battle. Owen, thoughts on this one?
Rangatawa, can't get past them for many seasons that they've been right up there and right up amongst it. So I'm going to go with Rangatawa with this game.
Jax?
Yep, I follow suit. Yep, the Papaka will be, I think, it's at home, so, and they're tracking on well. I think they'll be too good for Ruatoki. Although there's players galore that we are well versed with the names that are in both teams.
Yeah, the Papaka, again, using that salty term, will be salty after losing to the Mount over here on the Mount Beach. So they'll be looking to get up. Scotty Kale will be having stern words with his wahine and probably done his homework and have trained them well throughout the week. So he'll be wanting his team to get up, and I'd say they will get up. So Rangatawa for me too, gents. Nongotaha, Mount Maunganui, game of the week in the women's round here. 100%. Absolute game of the week. It's over there at Nongotaha Domain. Owen, thoughts on this one?
Talent across the board in both teams. It's going to be the one who really wants this game the most will come out on top, and I'm going to go with the Mount for this one.
Yeah, okay. Jax?
Oh, I'm going to even the pendulum out. I'm going Nongotaha.
Lads, we've nailed this one too. So we bus trip there for the Mounties. I'm sure Jess Waldron and her girls will be enjoying this one. Yeah. Hopefully, as you said, it'll come down to a kicking battle. So whoever's got the kicking boots on, I'm going to go with the Mounties. I'm going to think Jess Waldron's going to be just on form. She's going to kick 100%, which will be the difference in this game. So Mounties for me, lads. And lastly, down in Turangi, Tongariro, they're taking on Poro. Owen, thoughts?
Ooh, again, another tough game, but I'm going to go with our whānau from Poro for this one. So, yeah.
Checks.
Yep, I follow suit. Ngāti Awa whānau, they're going to be too strong down there. In Tongariro.
It's a bus trip for Poro. It's going to take a while for them to get rid of those travel legs. For me, I'm going to go the way at Tongariro. Home crowd, home patch. The whenua was there. They're going to find the mana and they're going to get up. So Tongariro for me in this one, lads. So all the best. Hey everyone, good luck. Get out. Women's rugby on the Wahine Rugby is on Sunday. So 1 o'clock. Get out to your local ground. Support your local club. All games on tomorrow. Get out there again. And a bit of secondary school code on tonight around the traps, as well as Mount Maunganui 4 Square Secondary School girls playing on Monday afternoon. So plenty of rugby galore. Get out there. and have some fun. Now we come into our referee segment. Blowing the whiskey from the middle.
Blowing the whiskey from the middle.
And this is brought to you by Generation Hope.
This is brought to you by Generation Hope. All right, whānau. This week we have we were to have a couple of referees come in for exchange week. Unfortunately, North Harbour have had to pull out due to their referee with health issues. So we've got one of the whanaunga coming up from Ngāti East Coast, Joe Bevilles. He'll be here tonight, and we'll look after him tonight, and then he'll be heading out to Toi High School.
Hey, I'm just going to hold you, Jack. You said you're going to look after him tonight. What do you mean by you're going to look after him tonight? I hope there's not too many bevies, because we know the coasties love a few bevies.
No, not look after him like we used to at uni. We look after him just in terms of getting him here, making sure he's fed, ready for tomorrow. Pick him up, and then after our coaches meeting here in the morning, and we'll take him over there. Just pretty much give him an all-round, good weekend. Take him out for some dinner across Club Mount, across the road, him and his wife.
Nice. And
just show them the Manaki side of Bay of Plenty Rugby and what we do when our visitors come in the house.
Yep.
So looking forward to seeing Joe tonight, and any other visiting referees that we've had in the weeks past. We had Joe Ford from Counties last week, and we had a Taranaki ref come over to the Central Bay of Plenty. In terms of the Baywide Premier woman, we've got Tiana Nawati Anderson, who's going to be reffing. She's been recently come back from the Seventh Circuit, and she's ready to go. Brad's home, so she's able to get out and do a few more games.
Cool.
The Nongataha game, we've got Conrad Whittle, local there from Rotorua. He'll be taking care of that game, and Jamie Bell's team will be taking care of Tongariro against Poroporo down there.
Nice.
The Mount Te Puke game, we've got our consistent man, Sam Fellows.
Sammy.
He's on board there. Greerton versus Te Puna, we got Jaco Brow. Now, Jaco Brow's been in, been out all year with an injury, and he's just slowly making his way back. So welcome back, Jaco. Very good ref, knows his stuff. And then in terms of Whakarewarewa versus Rangatawa, we've got Pete Morgan. We know Pete Morgan.
25 games.
Yeah. We know Pete Morgan is really good ref, and he does well in any game that he does. He managed to, I was with him on Wednesday, he ref Wesley College versus Raukura Fesitine. Raukura too good in that game, but Pete did a very good game, and was assisted by Rebecca Matheson from Canada, a girl that's come over, who's down Ngāti Porou, should be reffing a premier game down there.
Straight down there, Jack. Straight down there.
TBC versus City in Whangaparau.
Challenge.
There. So we sent you down there. Everyone knows her down there and knows Mike down there. So just in terms of our referees abroad, we appreciate you in terms of the voluntary hours that you give out there. Just a little word to our supporters and our clubs. Remember, when you see referees, don't be afraid to go up to them and just congratulate them, good or bad. They're out there trying to make sure that the game stays alive, and do your best to make sure they have a positive experience right across the board.
Mate, I'm noticing one name missing off for a lot of these appointments this year. What's happening with Nico Blank?
Nico Blank is going through a knee. He had a knee operation, and he's healing away. But I'm sure you will see him close to the 7th season.
Nice.
He's resting up. I've seen some photos in terms of his operation in the last 2 weeks. So heal up, Nico, and everyone knows Nico. But he's doing a bit of coaching.
Oh, true.
Which is different.
Yep.
So he gets out there and just get around and see a few of his peers. And sometimes it's hard giving your peers, some coaching tips because you feel like that you're judging them, but you're actually, But yeah, go well, everybody, right across the board. Bay of Plenty Rugby's doing really, really well, I believe. From working here, there's a lot going on, a lot to get involved with. But lastly, we appreciate all our volunteers and the money they do.
And that is Blowing the Whiskey from the Middle, brought to you by Generation Homes. Folks, that's all we've got time for this week. Thanks very much for tuning in. Thanks, Matua Owen,
Kia ora, ngā mihi.
for calling in and jumping on the show as our
Thank you for having me.
special guest this week. Jax, any special milestones for any referees this week you can think of before we shut off?
No, we haven't got any.
No.
Off the top of my head.
Okay, and we'll just shout out to Ruben Vaipor. Good luck, 150 games. Huge milestone in your beloved red and black whatever jersey. Go well tomorrow, mate. But from us here, that's all we got time for. Stay safe out there, wrap up warm, and don't drink and drive. I'm Marcus Howie.
I'm Matua Jax. Hei kona.
Noho ora mai.